Hi and welcome to something different than usual. This is not a game, it's not a stream, which makes sense because it's a video. And it's probably gonna be like 30 minutes max right now. Only because that's the only time I have for now. But in the future it's gonna be longer. But I wrote on Twitter a very specific tweet, which is why I'm making this video, because it's technically the first episode, or would you call it episode 0? Because it's like more an introduction to what I will do. So, as I have done in the past, I am doing with a friend at the moment also. I wanna start doing a podcast. And I did a podcast in the past that only did like 3 episodes or 3 episodes, and that was then. But because I'm so focused on, what would you say, friends, family, not family maybe, but like, well, family too, but like the mentality of people, like the mental health of people, not the science behind mental health itself, because science, it gives you, what would you say, a person, like for each person is different. Like one person might not do well, but another person might do better, because there's no, in my opinion, there's no clear science when it comes to mental health. Because you can, yes, you have what is common, which is what is the main thing. But what I want to explore, this is gonna be for everything, is what is different per person for with depression with like ADHD, which I do have. But what's the difference between people with ADHD and depression? What is what if I also want to talk with people that might not have depression, but how they but interact with people with depression, which would make sense, because I want to talk about with different people with different, both with different mental conditions that is not common. And also, of course, main goal of this is to talk about depression and of course other issues, like how do you live with it, how was school with, because I know some people has this, like they have a mental, they are not mentally unstable, but they are like, they have like a diagnosis. Of course everyone does, that's a fact, but what we have is different per person. And I personally will explore these options. What is it that's different between a person with two different people with the same like issues, like two with depression, with ADHD? What is the difference between them and me and other people with the ADHD? Like, what is the difference? What is it you do? What is it? Are you one of those that needs medicine? Are you one of those that can survive without medicine, like I do? I don't need medicine. I don't want to take medicine because I have support. Like, that's one of the issues also with, that's one of the issues to mental health. It's not bad. It's not problematic and nothing like that. It's fine. It's good. Everything works. That's the idea. But what makes each and every person unique in that sense? What makes A to be different? Like, what's the goal? I know a lot of different people. I don't know what all they have, but I know some have depression. I know most of them have depression. I know some have a different kind of depression, because there's different kinds of depression too. Like you have the common one where you have the more common one, which is like you're sad, and you have bad thoughts. That's regular. That's normal depression. But I believe there's more kind of the depression, like you have had a tough life to grow up. You still have the thoughts, but like, what is the reason why you have those thoughts? Is it just because how you have lived? Is it because you overthink? Which it's a regularity, I believe, with ADHD. Because you do overthink a lot when you have ADHD. That's one of the premises of having ADHD, is that you think more about things than you should. Like, I wouldn't say that, oh hey, this guy is sick, he's not mentally stable. Like, he might not be mentally stable when it comes to depression, but it doesn't mean that he's unstable either. Like, yes, everyone has their days off. Some have days on, well, not days on, but like days that everything is fine. Like, that's what depression. Some have, for me, depression is. I don't have common depression. I don't have depression every day, single day. Like, oh hey, I have depression now. I'm gonna be sad every day. I get it now and then. I can get depressed for a week and then I'm like fine again. But it's because I stay too positive. Like, I'm positive because you need to learn that not everything we do is bad. Like, that's the thing. Like I have ADHD, which I'm very open about. I am not hiding it because I don't see a point in hiding it. Then you have, like, I have friends that have one who's not diagnosed with ADHD but probably have ADHD or at least something, and of course he definitely got depressed. I definitely want to talk with him. He's my friend. You know him, by the way, but I won't tell you who it is. You know most of my friends, I think. Like, most of the people I've probably played a game at least once with everyone I normally talk with. I could also want to talk with different kind of people, like, depending on situation. Like, I know different people. Then maybe I gonna try also every week release this episode, like an episode, which is gonna be the harder part because I'm gonna schedule recordings. I'm gonna try to get it out by Saturday, Sunday. I'm gonna have to find friends that can do it with me. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun actually, because one, the goal of it is not to talk about, hey, this is what I learned as a kid. This is what science says I should be. It's gonna be, this is what this person has, how it was as a kid, how their life was as a kid, maybe how their life was as a teenager, then how their life was as an adult. Where did they start noticing the problem? Like, did you have like a regular? I'm gonna definitely ask, like, because classic therapist thing is to go back to your kids, but also like, where did you start noticing that you might have? Because I don't think depression is that uncommon in young kids either. That's the thing. That's what we don't say. Maybe you think because they are kids, they may be sad because they're kids. They kind of have very different, what do you say, tempers, and some days they're happy, some days they're sad. Like, that makes sense. But I believe there's what is it called? Depression starts early. That's not lie. And then, but I want to explore. I want to get. I think I'm not gonna get more than a half hour each, but I wanna get up to an hour at tops to explore this. And this is the thing. Normally, people probably edit podcasts and stuff like that. For me, I am not gonna do that. I am gonna rely completely on that everything you say or do. I should have like a waiver, like that I have to write be like everything you say can be used against you in the court of law. Like, as that's the thing. I dominated anything out. Everything you say or do in this series is gonna be a podcast. It could be a series more or less because it might end at some point because I run out of talking with people. I run out of talking with myself because I'm not crazy enough to talk with myself. And then you might have to say me come again because different. Like some people might talk for like almost an hour about the problems and then be like, oh, we have more to cover, but would you wanna come on again in the future? Continue talking about your problem. We might make some of those things, like stuff like that, because it's interesting to learn about people. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to learn how people function. Like, I like the mental health of people because even the bad and the good, like I support and want to fix mental health, but the only way I believe to fix actual mental health, it isn't about, what would you say, go to a therapist or stuff like that. I think you need to learn from other people's experiences, similarities of what you feel and what they feel, and be like, oh, so they have the same issues as I do. Maybe I can learn a little bit about it and try to see what they have done too. But I don't think everyone has the issues, and yeah. So I'm gonna, every time I'm gonna invite someone, I'm gonna have to tell them everything you say will be uploaded on YouTube no matter what. It's gonna be the like signed agreement that is on there. So one thing, just think before you talk, basically. Like, if you don't want it out there, you should not talk about it. That's the plan. Like, I want to learn certain experiences, and like with me, I have had depression for a while, and for a while I did not even realize that. Um, is that I had issues that I didn't know about because I kinda didn't know about having issues. So like, if I had issues, I didn't know it until I think it was 2018. Yeah, I think 2018. That is when I realized that I had suffered from a weird kind of depression. Like, because I think I shut it off so much that it hit me that hard that could, I noticed, like, I was sad, of course, because that makes sense. But at that time, one of my best friends to this day, which I still meet sometimes, every now and then. I should meet them more, but yeah. I thought I was gonna lose them. Not that they were gonna die, but because where we met, it was stopping for me, or for both of us actually, that year, technically. And yeah, so that happened, and because of that, I had issues with that. And it made me sad, but then I found a way to reconnect with them, and now they are one of my closest friends. I trust them. I had problems, had a break. That was one of the first break. I think I've had like 2 or 3 breakdowns in my whole life. And that was a bike. I'm glad that doesn't pick up because that was loud. But yeah. I think yeah, that summer yeah, I talked about many issues with her, and then of course it didn't get better, and I agree with that I might have been overdoing it, so yeah. But then we had like then I had sad moments where I made stupid mistakes again, which in its own then started go wrong, and then I made a few mistakes. I had a breakdown. I had feel well. I don't wanna mention what happened exactly because that's the part of like I already experienced. I don't need to. But here is one thing you always should do. No matter what, this is just a general thing for anyone. You don't even need depression to actually do this part, but those closest to you, remember that keep them close, love them, and never stop believing in them, even when they're stupid as fuck. That is basically what happened to me. That I did the dumb things, and well, in a fight it's 2 ways straight. So we both fought. We both were stupid as fuck, but I took full responsibility for it because I felt like I did the most. That's the part. And that was 2019, I think. Then yeah. See, I think I had another break, or did I only have 2 breakdowns? Maybe I only had 2 breakdowns. But then different kind of reason I get sad, like I have depression, I have issues that I don't know how to deal with in general, like myself, like I can deal with them, but I don't know how to, because I have issues talking with people. It's not because I don't trust them, it's because I have problems. In general, like I don't like talking with people. I don't like sharing too much either because I don't want them to be sad because I'm sad, and but I also know how to deal with my own problems. I always preferred to deal with my own problems. That's another thing which I shouldn't do. I should ask for help. I need to ask for help, but I don't because of the simple reason that I think I can do it on my own. But maybe I can't. Maybe I need help, and of course I don't ask for it because I am a terrible person like that. And I always and then you have the second issue is like I always tell people, hey, you should trust in your friends, but I can't even. I trust in them, but I can't like trust them. You know, like like I say they should, like they should talk with people, they should really trust. I don't do it myself. You know, it's like the double standard sword, like. So it's like, yeah, do this, but I will not do it. Which again, it's kind of usual, not unusual, and but also like that's what I'm gonna talk about. This is the issues I'm gonna talk about, and that's what I'm gonna make people talk about. Like, and of course they don't have to share everything, which is perfectly fine. But you're gonna share some stuff that you might not want to share normally, which is also good. Like me, I don't share, as I said, I have issues sharing with people. But yeah, I thought we were gonna get to 30 minutes, but I maybe not. Huh. At least this is gonna be shorter because I know this is just an introduction to what it is gonna be, what I have experienced, and I'm gonna have certain friends I'm gonna ask because I know at least 3 people that have said they wanna join. I'm gonna ask more people, of course. One of them is very hard to schedule with though because, yeah, yeah. But yeah, in the long run, what I want to do is to help people basically with mental health by not tell them how to live their life, how to fix their life, but by telling them that it's okay to be sad, it's okay to have your days where it feels like I don't want to do anything in my life, I want to just lay down and cry, and it's okay to lay down and cry. Just remember, as long as you keep to that and you stay safe, it's okay, you can do what you want. The moment when you start hurting yourself is where you probably should seek help. Because I feel like some people is like, oh, but there's there is always a risk. You can't go what is and what is not. Like you could say, but I could say the same thing is like every time you go outside, you can get hit by a car, you can stumble, you can fall, you can hit a branch because of trees, because you're not focused and walk into a goddamn trees, branches, and stuff like that. Everything has a possibility as long as you are willing to do something. Like if you go outside, it's dangerous. If you stay inside, it can be dangerous because you can trip over a cable, you can hit like the fucking side of a door because you forgot to close it, you thought it was open, and stuff like that. Everything has possibilities, everything has issues. It's like, what do you know and what do you not know, that you can't predict the future until it has happened, because then it's no longer the future, then it is the past, cause which is weirdly enough the truth. Like what is now is not really now, because that would be in just a second the past. So what is the now? How many? Because in reality, the now is the second you say now, which would be a lie. You need to say a timeline, like say you need to do this in 10 minutes, because that's, you can say you need to do it now, because they can't technically do it now because time moves on. Now I'm rambling on. This is what having ADHD started doing. And that's the same thing with, like, if you're noticing that they might hurt themselves tendencies, that might be good to at least go to a therapist that can confirm it, but never force a therapist unless needed. Like, I don't believe in therapy as a whole, cause it's not bad, but it's also not good. Cause if you start relying that everything, like you think you can live a normal life, that the therapist will just help you, it's not gonna help you either. Cause in reality, sometimes they are limited to rules, they're limited to laws, they're limited to everything that a fucking book tells them they can do and cannot do. Because sometimes I feel like you need to give a harsh reality, which a therapist can't really always do. They could give you the harsh reality, like, yeah, maybe no one loves you. Like, But why should that bother you? Why care? The most important part is not being loved. Is taking care of yourself. That's the most important part. But a therapist can't really say that if you have issues, like if you hurt yourself. Like, I would never say to someone that, hey, you don't matter, because that's not true. Everyone matters in their own. But the issue is maybe not everyone have friends to tell them they matter. They don't have a family that cares about it. Like, that's the issue. Because there is always gonna be some people that don't give a fuck about you. There's gonna be maybe some people that loves you, maybe people that likes you, but somebody that doesn't care who you are, but doesn't mind you. Like, but often it's the negative response that gets attached to people. It's not the happiness, it's not the good stuff. It's the sad and depressing reality that, oh, no one likes me for me. I'm sad, I don't want to do this, I am bored, I don't give a fuck about anything. And that is the reality you live with. That's what you have to deal with. But yeah, I need to end here. I have stuff to do in like 20 minutes anyways from this recording, so... And with that said, I'm gonna get up with a name before I post it, and it's gonna come up, well, I hope in the future, every Saturday or Sunday, there's an episode at 6 a.m. Central European Time. Worst case, Mondays, Central European Time. But it's always gonna be Central European Time, because that's where I live. Good to know. And then, of course, you're gonna get my regular VODs uploaded every single day. Either every day or every time I finish the stream. And it's a game I want to upload. But yeah, hopefully in the future more different kinds of recordings and different stuff coming. And yeah, with that said, I will see you next time in this podcast with no name right now, because I don't want to keep the old name, because my old name was Tiny Noobs Podcast. So I'm gonna see if I can find someone that can give me a good name for a mental health podcast that is sounding good and kind of funny, but also shows this is a serious business. Yeah. Ouch, that hurt my hand. Boxing, I have noticed that I not have that much feeling in my hand. Like, compared to if you were to slap me on the hand, I wouldn't feel it as much. I wonder if that's just that pain reception in the hand is different. I don't know. But I will see you guys next time.